back together again.
I think Timbersaw has a much higher skill cap than Juggernaut too. So you want your best player playing the hardest hero.
One way to look at it, man. Yeah. I can't wait to look into the game as we're going to head in and see how it's all going to roll out. The Slaughter was the last pick up from Newbee.
Oh, it is Paparazzi on the Timbersaw.
It is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's going to happen.
This is good.
We're probably more excited about this because we got to cast that 1v1 matchup, and it was such a beautiful time. That puck versus puck matchup. We're just going to keep the camera on mid only from now on out.
Change that carry to mid, and change that mid to carry. Things have changed. Paparazzi has inspired his team.
Flexibility
I'm
is
the
there.
best mid in the world. Let me mid, guys. You can't say no to that.
Yeah.
Can't say no, you aren't.
I've got a trophy and a check to prove it, boys. Like, you have to let me go in there. At the same time, the rest of the IGV lineup was like, we were telling you what to do the entire time, helping you to win this one.
It's also, I also think that Paparazzi probably suggested this hero. Because they're like, okay, Paparazzi, do you want to go mid? He's like, oh yeah, sure, I can own this elk with, what do you want? Timbersaw.
What a surprise with aggressive maneuvering. It is going to be the Monkey King bouncing himself around, trying to find a quick little jump in. So Kaka on the tree line. Dogfights will walk in range, and it's a rolling boulder forward. There's your stun from Faith. KP, follow-up crush, a little bit too far away from it now. Goes for the crush, but it's only on Cicada, who's able to just fall back, and we go back towards the rune. So aggressive maneuver, but no joy really coming from it. Not for Newbee at least, but they are going to commit themselves in to running this three-man off lane. And we get the mid. Paparazzi versus SC. SC's got a point to prove with this lane now.
That's a pretty easy lane for Timber. Very easy. You want high armor hero mid. You occasionally see Terrorblade mid versus Alchemist just because you don't take any damage from the acid spray and reactive is very similar.
Dogfight's clipped himself for the moment. Kaka wants to keep him there, so he's going to jump in and try and man mode this. With the help of Faith, they may just have enough damage, but it's Hill on Hill, who really is the king. Dogfight with a very fire committal. It's going to be Dogfight taking the first blood. A full-on fight. Faith does not have enough mana for another stun just yet. KP, if you can keep the distance in close, even then, there goes your crush. Keep the vision around the tree line. Go underneath the tower. TP support's coming from the Earth Spirit, but KP will pick up a double kill on the offlane, but it's not going to stop there. Dogfights rolling boulders forward, and Faith, Cicada, he actually cut his way through the tree line. KP has to commit the mango to get the crush off and keep that Juggernaut away. He's able to do so.
That's actually really unfortunate for the Monkey King. He has poor man shield. He should easily win that man fight, but he had the trolls right-clicking him the whole time. And they buffed the damage type of the troll. I think if it were the old piercing damage, he would have lived easily. So that is, yeah, that's not good for old Monkey King. But they are still 2 kills up.
Yeah, 2 kills up for Newbee and money going into KP. So he'll be able to afford his boots nice and early.
Dogfights. Is he going to try and steal this bounty rune? Alchemist, 2 minutes in.
I think they're looking back up towards the top lane for a fight. He's going to roam in through the back, and there's only it's 2-on-3 this time around, but Dogfights doesn't really have the positioning. He left the observe ward a little bit further down, and yeah, he's going to rolling boulder forward and take the bounty rune.
Yeah, you got to prevent Alk from getting all these bounty runes. It looks like Monkey King is headed down bottom. Is he just going to sit there and wait for the bounty rune? That's going to be a long wait for him. So they don't even give Alk any of the bounty runes, and he has a tough matchup in the mid lane.
SC is 100% focused on staying in the mid with Paparazzi.
That's, yes, 13-5 to 6-1. Looks like our 1v1s yesterday.
How do you even stop it? Like, maybe this is one way to do it. The Monkey King's going for a roam. He's looking for potentially the courier. But Paparazzi is waiting as long as he can. That courier is just sitting in front of the tier 3 tower, not budging an inch. It's got the boots. Nothing else on it, but it needs another 20 seconds before she can fly.
Thing is, he doesn't even need any items on the Timbersaw. You can just own with just a poor man shield.
It's like, let me fly out regeneration. Oh, wait, no, there's a reactive armor, which makes me more powerful than anything.
The Alchemist Kool-Aid, man. So they are stacking. That's what you need to do. It's going to be a really rough lane, so SEC is stacking himself. We see Faith and KP on the left side also stacking. And they probably need to start feeding him TP scrolls so he can double bounty as well. You'll see that pretty commonly. Alchemist gets the bottom one, TP's at the top shrine, gets the other one, and then proceeds to do his stacks with his soul ring and whatnot. Alchemist actually committing for a poor man shield quite early too. That's not...
This is his only way to get the farm back, right? He has to go into the jungle to do it.
Yeah.
You mean that like that over Iron Talon?
That over Stout into Iron Talon, because he's doesn't have that much gold to work with.
Yeah, so he goes for both. Looks like top bounty rune. A little bit of an issue for KP on the run. Dogfights and super. The kick will be perfect, and KP not enough life to survive that. So good rotation in from IGV.
They're
able just to find him.
They're already controlling a pretty good area of the map right now. Like, that top bounty is not safe at all, and they have no vision up there. Slaughter doesn't even feel that safe jungling in that area.
The only lane which is currently working is the bottom lane for Newbee, and that's 22 for 8. So the CS is good for the Weaver. If the Alchemist can play catch-up and the Weaver gets big, potentially gets funneled an Aghanim Scepter too, then you do have that other issue of IGV. Like, you focus down one target and then anyone can be time-lapsed.
I'm worried about him just being able to get a Radiance, let alone Axe.
Yeah, I'm thinking too far ahead for you.
And now he's trying to get the top bounty rune, isn't going to be able to sweep at SCCC, runs right into In July.
Yeah, they're battling top lane. That's where KP's going to fall down again.
He's already forced to pop his haste. At least he will get one, but it's not looking that great. I think Weaver is good versus Bat, but it's terrible versus Earth Spirit and not good versus Disruptor.
The Sentry was just an inch too far away. They threw down. Actually, you know what? It's not. It's actually going to be on it. I just thought with the pounce up, he did it for the Observer Ward. But IGV may have actually scanned that Observer Ward as opposed before they de-warded the Obs of Dire.
Dude, what is that gear-looking Observer Ward? Huh. I don't think I've seen that before.
Yeah,
I'm a cosmetics guy. Sad thing is, I think I care more about cosmetics in game than in real life. I'm like the antithesis of Charlie.
But you also, yeah, you dress up.
I dress up.
You balance life at in-game.
One of my favorite things from TI, last TI, was when they called him Evil Merlini. It's like, oh yeah, he could be a mob boss.
Oh, Paparazzi, really? He's getting up in the face of KP, and he knows he can.
They cannot deal with Timber at all. Amplify is okay, but he's going to have max reactives quite soon. He actually went for a more offensive build too with the 2 in Whirling Death, not the 1-1-3 that is so commonly seen. Because no one's really going to be pressuring him. He needs to be able to kill the Alchemist, and having that extra point for that pure damage is quite important versus Chemical Rage. Yeah,
and I'm watching like KP cutting away those trees in the mid. It's like he's waiting for the Timber Chain to come forward. So the only way he can stand in close is to make sure he doesn't get caught in that Timber Chain of Paparazzi.
And Paparazzi can also chop down a lot of trees against the Monkey King. Natural enemies.
And you get the Flying Vision against the Monkey King from the Bat Rider, plus the kicking which comes in from the Earth Spirit. So yeah, this shouldn't be an easy Monkey King game.
No trees will be spared.
Greenpeace will have many complaints about this match.
All they're missing is like Iron Talon plus Battle Fury plus Iron Talon on the jug.
All right, jump forward. In July, just hanging around a little bit longer. With the Scarab Beetles, In July's going to lose a lot of his armor, but they need the slow, they need the extra stun, and Kaka, he'll provide it, but it's a little too late, especially when Newbee, Kaka and U9 having to run through the Firefly. So like U9 already triggers off his time-lapse and gets back.
One Napalm was enough to dissuade them. Napalm's still very difficult to deal with.
KP's having to come back up to this top lane. The tier 1 tower has been brought down. The Wave of Terror can at least pull the creep wave off the tower a little bit, but the damage has been done from IGV. 7 minutes in, you already have that top tower down to 1/3 of its HP.
Get that Aquila and start pushing.
Well, we already have it on the Juggernaut.
Yep. It's a good plan. Shut down Alk's jungle, steal stacks if you can, prevent access to at least one of the bounty runes, and most importantly, take T1s.
Yeah, that fear I had as well for Newbee's Observer Ward, like it was already de-warded out, and IGV already keep their own Observer Ward up, watching for Alchemist to back out and start farming again.
Dude, the phase boost is very interesting on Alk.
Is he? Do you just go? He's going armlet straight away. Like so, like obviously that's nothing unusual, but does he still go? Is Radiant still the play here, or do you build almost like a more combat style Alchemist if he's going to go phase boots? Or is phase boost just SC's way of keeping his distance from Paparazzi?
It might just be, you'll see Medusas get phase boots, and Trez generally do more damage in team fights, but phase is really nice for traveling in between camps, which is definitely not to be underrated. And it's not like Alchemist is going to be like, oh man, I got to sell this gold, sell this later. My 1,500 gold investment, I'm going to lose so much out on. That doesn't happen with Alchemist. So I think it's actually not even that much. It's like, what, 1,300, 1,200 gold? So yeah, I think
that's nothing for an Alchemist.
It is nothing, but if you think you're going to get your BOTs really late, you'll get a lot of value out of the phase boots. So I think it's nice that he's not going full greed. Although as I say that, he has max greed with greed.
Well, enough that he's able to capitalize. And IG's not really pressuring him any more than just having a really good laning phase. So IG are happy to accept the status quo. They're going to bring down this T1 tower, and that's probably when we'll start to see IGV's movement, where the priority comes for them. Because you've still got U9 farming up in that bottom lane. He's not looking too terrible on money. Like he's 500 net worth sitting behind the Juggernaut, which is his opposite one. And now that distance will be increased slightly with the last hit on the tower.
And Batrider is getting a lot more than his counterpart. That is the only core matchup that we see kind of out of whack.
The blink versus blink timings.
Yep. And he doesn't have to get the Iron Talon that the Slaughter has to invest in. KP not even going for the Trinkles.
At least goes for this one as a nice little maneuver. Uses the Iron Talon, take the aggro on the creep wave. The Radiant Scan will actually scan the movement of IGV coming off the top lane and into the mid. So IGV definitely want to really shut this down. If they can take both these tier 1 towers before the 10-minute mark, Alchemist is going to start to get throttled up, but the movement's coming over from Newbee. All 5 heroes converging on the mid. They should have fortification. Now Kaka jumping in for the stun. He won't really hit on anybody. He actually throws the stun, connecting on Dogfights, who's up on top of the hill, but it's Cicada who's going to be the one to go down. Trying to spin underneath the tower. Newbee will end up denying the mid-tier 1 tower as well.
Swap was used and a lot of space created for Injuly. Injuly very close to his blink dagger timing, just 150 gold. He was not present in that fight, and for good reason. And now is where things start to get a little bit more heated for Newbee. How do they actually stave off this Earth Spirit, this Batrider, who are surely just going to smoke up and try to take control of the jungle, with the Timbersaw just being that big fat machine in the lanes that is unkillable?
That's the ultimate question. It's the reason why Slaughter is here. It's the reason why Newbee have to be really on point for their positioning, and a lot of that's probably going to come through vision. See these gangs coming in from Invictus Gaming. But at the moment, IGV, again, their wards still hold beautifully, so they watch both of the bottom runes. They have eyes into the mouth of the Roshan pit. And any heavy lane rotation should also be scattered up by just those 2 observe wards they have on the river.
And they have 3 heroes mid just like looking at the Timbersaw. It's like, I know you're here, but we cannot kill you at all. Please go away now.
You do. Interrupt Timber Chain. Like
Lasso on the bottom lane. KP gets slaughtered by Juggernaut. Oh my god. I don't know if they needed to use Omni Slash there, but that was the blink reveal, and KP's probably like, oh crap, he has blink already. Things are not looking good.
The fact there's also no reaction from Newbee scouts out the fact of what we're watching, which is Newbee smoking up towards the top lane, but pouncing over the tree lines. Should be able to reveal, in fact, it does now reveal Dogfight, so the quick stun into the second with the jump down, and U9 able to get the last on that. With wave coming up towards the tower, Newbee can do a little bit of tower damage back the other way, but then having a lot of damage done to the tier 1 tower on bottom lane, while Paparazzi still controls the mid. And in fact, they will be losing that tier 1 tower on bottom lane.
SCCC was trying to farm up that Ancients, but he's actually quite scared. That is not a safe place for him to farm. Like, what camps can they realistically farm without fear of dying right now? It's just very, very few. And now they're trying to open up the Dire jungle, which I think is a very important move by Newbee.
Unai is not certain. He actually needs to hang around here. They need the gold from the tower. Denying up the catapult's not really going to work because the tower's already within deny range, and okay, they'll have to let it go. Yet again, another tower being denied up.
Yeah, so now the general move is to swap jungles. You get out to farm on the opposite lane, and then you kind of have just supports leech. But IGV are unrelenting when it comes to pushing down these T2s, and Cicada is just still beating on this T2 with no response from Newbee.
Nope. But what are they meant to do? U9 is not ready to fight. Alchemist isn't ready to fight. Until that Radiant is up, he doesn't want to be involved in engagement. So it's on Kaka, who's able to get the initial stun. Now the jump forward, the Beatles are coming in, but they're not really going to hit anyone. In fact, Injuly swapped back out, and the Wukong's command from Kaka, it just creates a space. IGV cannot get close enough to help out that Batrider, so they accept the fate. He goes down. U9 finds himself yet another kill.
Sentry Ward was placed a tiny bit too late. It does see the Observer Ward, but it was only after he got Boundless struck. So Alchemist quest for Radiance, maybe what, 3, 4, 5 minutes at this pace, depending on bounding runes and stacks and whatnot. And looks like they haven't been able to ward any of the camps. So this is pretty important for Newbee, that IGV don't actually have vision. They have to smoke or scan or move together as a big pack in order to identify this Alchemist. And it looks like they are going to start smoking right now. In July does TP up. There are 4 men at the shrine. And boom, let's find Alchemist.
Yep. The Observer Ward already saw him, so they're headed directly towards the Ancients. Thanks to the fact that Alchemist didn't actually stack the Ancient. Actually, no, he did actually get the stack off. But he doesn't stick around for the fight. Everyone's missing. Radiant scanned perfectly in IGV's movement. And SC goes home.
They need to be able to get wards down in this jungle, though. Like, they aren't able to kill the Alchemist, but still, you want to kill him at least, I would say, 1 time before the Radiance comes out would be pretty nice for them.
Well, if it's possible. And right now, SC's not giving him the opportunity. It's U9 who's getting the space up on top lane. He's actually approaching the tier 2 tower while IGV are approaching their tier 2 tower. And directly into Lincoln Sphere for U9. An essential item to make sure he can try and potentially survive the Batrider engagement. But Disruptor can throw a spanner into that, works quite easily.
And Earthspear. Earthspear does not give any hoots about Lincolns. And you don't really want to use the defensive swap on the Weaver because you want to save it for the Alchemist. That is their only save.
Rolling Boulder, it's going to be the silence already. MKP, oh, it's actually not KP, it's going to be Kaka. Trapped up as that Monkey King.
Blink has been finished. I think he did reveal on the top Observer Ward with his blink as he was blinking down from the side shot, but I don't think they were actually looking at it because of this fight that was brewing in the middle lane.
Well, that tier 2 tower still taking a bit of a beating. IGV are going to ping it out for a bit of a second, but SC able to defend behind his own tier 2. Relative safety, and thanks to that Observer Ward sitting in the mid-river, they are seeing a lot of the movements of IGV. And in fact, in July, picking up that Invis room was also scouted out. So they try, block, Sentry Ward down, and they actually reveal the Observer Ward that's there by doing so. So no potential ganking of In July getting aggressive under the Invis rune.
And In July was very scared because he doesn't know where the Vengeful Spirit is. KP and Faith are both in a really good spot, like sitting behind the Alchemist, but still out of vision of the potential Observer Ward that was down there. But stacks will be stolen. Sakata not really strong enough to take this out.
No, he's backing up. The Healing Ward couldn't give enough regeneration for him to stay healthy enough to be able to survive a gank from Newbee. And Newbee are enjoying the time. Weaver again, still having a lot of space up on top. The Alchemist was farming up the mid. It won't have been the fastest flash farming you've seen from an Alchemist, but now he gets a little bit of space. They move back out again. A lot of that aggressive warding of IG Vitality, it doesn't exist anymore. They've switched to 1 defensive ward up on the top lane, and everything else looks pretty dark for him.
So this is a game of trying to hunt the Alchemist down, and IGV are not successful. So we haven't seen any deaths yet on SCCC. He's been really good about using his scans and playing around his team, sitting in front of the Venge. So now they need to identify alternative targets. I think that they could like feign maneuvers, like maybe pretend they're sitting behind the Timbersaw, but actually go for the Weaver. The Weaver is very, very easy to kill. Maybe they're not comfortable without the Blink Dagger on dogfights, but I think they need to set up the Earth Spirit to get kills on the Weaver so that Weaver also doesn't become an issue, because it already seems like Alchemist is going to be a problem.
Well, they're grouping up, coming in from the Dire Shrine, so it's going to be a smoke gang from IGV. Try and find that opening, but who's the closest? Right now is the Vengeful Spirit. Faith just running through the mid lane. Chakram flies forward and Faith's already feeling spooked, so the Blink Lasso able to connect, and that's one very dead Vengeful Spirit. No swap herself out of that. So they just accept the fate. No one else is nearby. They're checking the Ancients, checking everywhere else, but right now it's Monkey King pushing the bottom lane, and Weaver sitting behind the tier 2 tower with the rest of the team.
A smoke for Venge kill. Radiant have to be happy about that, however, IGV will...
It's tower as well.
Yeah, I don't know how they fight against this. Looks like Kaka's actually going to come from behind. He TP to the shrine. Is he going to be able to get a good...
He should be able to pounce in through the rear. There's no Observer Ward to watch this maneuvering, but you can see Super. It's like you feel something is coming, but now into the Wukong's command. Where's the extra support? Able to get the stuns, but a quick Omni Slash destroys the Monkey King. They want more damage. There's a car. Okay, maybe with that disruption, silence is going to be difficult to move through, but dogfights, no down, Super into the tree lines. U9 has to time lapse off a lot of that damage done by Paparazzi, but KP with a Blink Dagger jumping forward on top of the Juggernaut. It should be enough. Sakata will go down. U9 will have the double kill. At least Paparazzi to timber himself back to relative safety underneath the T1 tower. The concoction flies forward. KP just leaves the amplification up. They're not going to push any further than this. It's just a good fight for Newbee.
That was a really smart play from Kaga. It was a very selfless play. He knows he's going to die. They have so many ways to cut down the trees, and their attention was just way too much focused on to the King. Disruptor wasn't able to drop a good ulti off because Newbee were able to sweep around from the sides, and U9, the big pickoffs there, that's going to pave the way for his Lincoln Sphere.
Yeah, really close to it. After farming up this top lane, he'll have it. And then maybe he'll feel a little bit more confident to be that frontliner. Same thing for the Alchemist. And you'll see more items coming his way. SC has that armlet plus the Radiance, encroaching onto the Manta style.
It's one of your worries about IGV, though, is that they just completely avoid you. And then the time lapse is one of the best counters against Lasso. And if Alchemist gets really big, do they have enough damage to kill him? Eventually, I think they should be able to.
Oh, that jump fall actually going in on the Alchemist. There's going to be double negative armor. Dogfire's trying to create a little bit more trouble, and the Storm is perfect, but the Flame Break pushes them outside of the circle, and the bigger circle is the Wukong's command, created by Kaka. IG Vitality will take the battle towards the north, but with the lasso, SC is quite happy to go along for the ride. It's already 3 kills going the way of Newbee, and Paparazzi, very visible. Now he'll actually get, okay, maybe with the amplification being refreshed, SC still happy to fight underneath the shrine. They've already managed to survive through the regeneration with a follow-up stun. Paparazzi pushed down, but Kaka slaps him in. Dogfights turns on the Magnetize with a Flame Break. Is there enough tick damage? Dogfights will fall, but how many will join him in the afterlife in July? Still trying to Firefly up and around. You got Paparazzi back into the fight too. Thanks to those Bloodstone charges, it was a low death timer. SC glimpsed out of range of the tower. He can't toggle through that. 50 seconds for him on the sideline. Caught way too deep under the tier 2.
Dang, how many heroes did they lose that fight? It looks like I don't know how long this fight recap lasted, but it wasn't long enough. It was not long enough. I think there were so many deaths on the side of IG Vitality. Only 400 gold for an outkill. That is not that much.
Paparazzi also drops down to 11 Bloodstone charges. I believe he had 18 before that fight began, if I read it correctly. But now he's down to 11.
It's tough. They all just the trends of him and ended up knocking people out of the kinetic field. Not your ideal
Let's have a quick look at it again. So there's the initial start to all of this. It was the start onto the Timbersaw.
No one inside the Static Storm, and they're forced to run away because of the Monkey King ult, despite him having 0 items. And SCCC, just without the Timbersaw there to actually do damage to him, there's just not enough burst. As a Juggernaut, you definitely don't want to Omni Slash him. Not when he's at full HP. He'll just regen it all back up quite easily. But it doesn't seem like they've gotten enough mileage out of like the Bat Rider, let's say. He had a Smoke Gank onto Avenge. They've only had 1 death on SCCC, and that was only because of a buyback on the Disruptor.
So what are they changing now? You look still to in July to Initiator, isolate the one person, so Omni Slash is useful?
I'm not sure. If they siege, then Newbee can fight them at this point because Alchemist is big enough. And if they try and split farm, then Alchemist is going to farm faster than them. The Roshan is not particularly good. They don't have any minus armor. Timbersaw is okay at it, but he can just tank it. They can't actually take it out quickly.
With all those options, all you're basically saying is IGV have to push and take the fights.
Well, I'm trying to look at the least terrible option that they have. That's generally something we have to do. The lesser of multiple evils.
Well, taking out the outside towns is one way to get the money and not fight. Restrict the area, get the vision up and running, and let Injuly do his work.
But now they're losing team fights versus Elk, so if they try and control, like, let's say this area of the jungle, Newbee can take a fight.
Well, a Bounty Rune sitting on top of a tree doesn't look right. He'll actually fall down thanks to Injuly with a perfect Firefly, and that's one very dead Monkey King.
It's good old gold there. Net worth only looks like 1,500 in favor of Newbee. Newbee on the flip side, like if IG Vitality push bottom, they can just take Roche super easily. Life Stealer, or sorry, Slardar plus any one of their other heroes. Vange is really good. Alchemist is really good.
In July, that Invis Rune scouts out Faith. U9 sitting right behind him, but in July starts the attack. So with the lasso back, I think you're going to say very goodbye to that Vengeful Spirit. No real way to save him from this, and in fact, you're going to add the extra silence from the Earth Spirit.
I think IG Vitality is like always settling. It's like, I guess we're going to go for the Vengeful Spirit kill. I guess we have to.
Well, if they waited half a second, they would have seen the Weaver. But that's a lot more of a difficult kill.
You can't go on Weaver. You just swap out, sacrifice, and you end up getting the Venge anyways.
Yep.
So it was like, okay, we'll just take the easy route.
Maybe bottom lane they can find Slaughter. Like, KP was pretty close towards the tower, but now the Alchemist illusions come in, and Cicada has to deal with just counter-pushing the lane. Mr. Diffusal and Manta style. No quick and simple way to get through these illusions of the Alchemist.
SCCC actually wants to fight quite early too. So after Manta and Radiance, he's going for the Black King bar over the Octarine. So I kind of like this hybrid from the Alchemist. It's not like a full committal to like Armlet plus whatever. Oh yeah, I mean Roshan is super easy for them.
It's dangerous because they smoked on top of the Dire Observer Ward.
They have Monkey King ulti too, so it's not that bad. They have what, 1, 2, 3, 4 minus armor.
yeah. Okay, there is no danger.
Yeah, especially with Alka Illusion scouting outside, there's no real way for IG Vitality.
They'll have the trade-off, which would be the bottom tier 2 tower. So, A gets Immortal Roshan for Newbee. But IG Vitality will take out the second last remaining tower of Newbee.
So how do you deal with an Alchemist that gets this big?
Do you just control the farm areas? Wait till he goes off by himself and gank him?
Venge is almost always sitting behind them. And they also don't have that many smokes. The Alchemist just fan out their illusions, and it's very difficult to gank them. And it looks like Kaka's in front of him right now in case they do try and smoke gank. It's like, okay, yeah, we'll just lose Kaka. They smoke from the east side or the south side, and then Alchemist is going to get out of there too.
They're all TPing out. The Observer Ward's going to be now, yeah, okay, it gets us first a little bit of a vision of Juggernaut moving into the Radiant jungle. But it may also be gem time sometime soon. It's if Newbee want to try and establish just complete vision control on IGV.
I don't know who would hold it though. I guess the Weaver can hold the gem. I think IG Vitality actually need a gem for the Observer wards because they're not able to shut down the Alk through ganks at all. So they actually maybe need to make them feel scared through lack of vision, perhaps. There's only one Observer ward on the map right now. I guess 2 if you count Kaka himself. He's an Observer ward.
Observer ward that can cleverly disguise himself as anything he wants to be. He's a pretender.
BKB, ready to fight. Their anti-BKB is just Jug, actually. And he went Manta Diffusal. Diffusal not particularly useful.
And now he picked up the Basher, which is coming on the courier.
Basher is good if you're worried about heroes taking down or using their defensive cooldowns, which is very good versus the Weaver, let's say.
Is he going? He's going these like these half items. I say half items. Like
wait,
he's
where's the Basher?
I believe he's on the courier.
Okay.
Flying in.
Nice.
Yep, Skull Basher in for the Juggernaut now. But the next thing is quick buy is the Skadi. So no desire to finish up the Abyssal Blade fully just yet. Paparazzi, if he really feels an opportunity to fight, Timber Champs in. 9 just focuses a super on the back line. So much damage. You'll get the Storm down, but they have enough damage to actually kill him off. The Bash is there, the Lincoln Sphere triggers, but 9 gets the time lapse out, and now the Wukong command. It surrounds IG Vitality. Paparazzi trying to cut through the trees, but he is not that quick of a chop, chop, chop. As the kick comes through, 2 dogfights can't create enough space. Paparazzi is just done from KP. Holding him in position. Omni Slash goes onto the Slaughter. He'll fall down as well, but now you've got him stranded. IG, they are trying to back out to their tier 2 tower, but the pounce forward. Kaka going for the jump. He can't get the extra stun, however. Not while Unan and SC are trapped at the tier 2 tower. SC will protect himself from his own concoction. And then they will get the tier 1 tower in the mid.
They were kind of close to getting the Aegis. That's about the only great thing I can say about IG Vitality of that fight. And Monkey King already had a Basher, and Timbersaw could not move inside the Wukong command. That is a very big issue, because if you can't kill the Monkey King, you're forced to run away. And if you can't run away, you're going to lose the fight. So how do they actually fight under this very, very strong ultimate?
That's a good question. Lotus Orb doesn't protect you from that. Neither does Shiva's God.
Neither does Armor, neither does BKB.
So the only thing you could potentially do is what, push him out of his own Wukong command?
Ideally, or just kill him really quickly.
That would be the bigger thing, but Juggernaut never really found the opening on him. And losing the Disruptor, you lost your big team fight controller. But the group up now on the bottom lane. That's all is back up for Disruptor. You do not have the Omni Slash, another 45 seconds. And Magnetize also being on cooldown may not be the greatest fight that IG Vitality ever wanted, but Paparazzi is not stopping him. He's going in. Alchemist TP'd out towards the mid lane. And the rest of Newbee understand without the Alchemist, they really want to have this fight. Faith, he doesn't get hit by the Shiva's guard. So Paparazzi, they swap and into the blink. One way to get away. Faith understood it. So did KP. Nice synergy of escaping.
Super's not even close to Glimpse. They want to fight so badly right now, but they just can't. There's nowhere to force. If they try and force high ground, they just lose out because of the Shrines and Alchemist illusions. The T2 on the left side, it's not really worth it for them. It doesn't really open anything up. And then what other options do they have? Go for Roche. Roche is already dead. Try and farm. You're farming versus Alchemist. So their options are just severely limited. They've blown through so many smokes with hardly yielding anything more than eventual spirit kill. And IG Vitality are hard pressed
Maybe wants to find the gank. In July, was just trying to Firefly and push this wave quickly. Now Unstable Concoction goes his way. Support's going to be there with the extra stun. They can't just blink in thanks to Firefly that was down, but it won't matter when Batrider is dead. 50 seconds on the sideline. That's basically a guaranteed tier 2 tower, especially considering his life.
Batrider is actually going for a Scepter. I don't see that too often.
Maybe they're just feeling he needs so much more control than what he currently offers.
It's like, I want more than just a venge kill. I want +1 if anyone's standing close enough. The radius is not that large. There's the only downside about the Scepter. And I mean, it's pretty decent here. If he goes BKB, he still dies to the mass armor. If he goes armor, you'll tank anything, but you won't be able to kill anyone. Scepter, it gives him more survivability. And
that concoction's brewing. Paparazzi, real trouble for him. Lotus Orb's going to actually return it, but the Wukong command makes it again difficult for Timbersaw to get back out of, especially when the crush from KP cancels it off. So Paparazzi is now down for 50 seconds. Again, another big window of opportunity for Newbee.
So sad. 5 Bloodstone charges.
Considering he was shy of 20 before and now he's down to 5, yeah, this game has changed for the Timbersaw. Laning phase was the dream. And now this is becoming the nightmare.
Just can't catch anyone. And now he'll finally transition out of the BTs. I would say he got enough value out of his boots.
And then he can start building Aghanim Scepters for the rest of his team.
Yes. Though they actually don't have amazing Scepters. Slaughter doesn't have one. Vengeance is pretty good.
The Weaver one is the
Weaver
one I'm thinking
one
of.
is also, but Alka hasn't actually even close to dying in a lot of these fights.
Yep.
So they actually seem like they want to kill the Weaver first, in which case the Ags is not extremely useful. You get more survivability, but you don't actually get too much benefit from casting on other people. But it will be very useful for the high ground siege. And then I would say you just get 2 eggs and then just dump moon charges into people.
Just let Alchemist down the front lines, hit the tower, and then just time-lapse him out when IG Vitality did damage.
Yeah, there's no risk.
Yep.
Or very little risk. Unless they jump the Venge. But if they jump the Venge, then you can just time-lapse, and then you still have the defensive swap.
Yep.
So they have like a, kind of 3-way saving going on.
IG Vitality poking around the pit. Roshan's not going to be up for a little bit longer, and the crush into a Wukong command. Okay, that's a very dead Earth Spirit. Actually standing inside the Wukong command. Okay, no, pouncing out. KP's in trouble. The lasso holding the Slaughter in position. Monkey King has already left, so KP's left to just fend for himself, and only can't really do that. Crushes the wave, but he knows he's dead.
Wow, he used Midas and he bought his 4-stat right before. That's some value. Look at his gold. Oh my goodness, 44 gold. All reliable, I guess, but that's some good stuff.
Efficiency rating. So just under a minute until Roshan is up. IG Vitality really need to look towards that. If we're already talking about the issues of what's happening with the survivability of Newbee, if they do start to high ground siege with the Alchemist, adding an Aegis the Immortal to this is more and more issues. And as he's going to restrict the map now. Push the bottom lane. Vitality will not be looking to fight without the lasso.
Yeah, with lasso on cooldown, they pretty much have almost no hope of saving this tower.
Weaver's in really deep. He's actually sitting on top of IGV at the moment. U9 looking for the kill onto the Disruptor. The bottom tier 1 tower is being chipped away. But it's not dead just yet. So another denial here if Paparazzi wants to get rid of it. And in fact, they will do so.
Any other avenue for IGV to come back? I'm trying to think of what is the best thing for them to do right now. How do they actually get back in this game?
Actually, not the clearance and the push as well. Like, you got this sealed target against the Alchemist, which is there from IGV, but they can't. Like, even when the Mana Style gets triggered, Juggernaut doesn't do enough damage with his Omni Slash.
Yeah, he doesn't do enough damage because he has Scotty. Scotty's better if you want to live and continue to scale. And it's decent for BKB because you can actually keep chasing people, but one of the downsides is you just don't have enough damage. So
unless that turns into a kite game, but if that Aghanim does go to the Weaver, then there is no kite game.
Yeah. I think they have to play actually for the super long game.
Weaver's actually going in for a BKB now, so already has the Lincolns. Going into a BKB, has the casual Orchid, that's what he silenced up the Disruptor with on the bottom lane previously. And Alchemist actually not going to go for the Aghanim Scepter, he's got the full Assault Cuirass in his quick buy.
Yeah, but he's not dying during BKB. It's really good for Hagon on Siege too. So they can end the game, I would say, potentially with that and maybe an Axe.
That Observer Ward in July, I believe. It's a little bit further up towards the north, but you can see lines being drawn by Monkey King. Wrap around and come from the northeast. IGV won't really be expecting to come from behind, and maybe Cicada. No, the Blink 40's able to get spins to the crush one effect for the Wukong command. It is down. The Storm is doing its work, but Disruptor pops to U9's Orchid, and Paparazzi's on the run. The Lotus Orb will reflect the concoction back up again, but BKB will protect, and now it's Dogfights who's stuck on the front lines, being attacked by U9. That'll be his double kill. Omni Slash going out. Kaka cops the brunt of most of it. U9 the tail end of it, but SC on the front lines. There's your lasso. Hold him there, but the swap out. SC's back into fighting position, and Paparazzi again. Timber chains up. He actually does manage to launch the chain, but U9 is not giving up just yet. The Fusel Blade holding in July in position to allow for his triple kill, and they look for the Ultra, or for the quad at least. It's Paparazzi stunned up. He can't get away. SC will take it, and Invictus Gaming, 4 heroes down, none with buyback, and no way to contest Roshan, which will be the next objective here for Newbee.
That was a really good smoke gank, and Juggernaut had very fast reflexes there. Sakata was able to spin away before he was hit by the Boundless Strike. It could have been even worse for IG Vitality there, but they just have no solution to the Alchemist. Their team fight is just absolutely atrocious. And he has the Shadow Blade on the Monkey King, so Monkey King was able to just invis, and they cannot stop his ultimate. He's just sitting there.
Terrific fight for Newbee. And it really does feel Alchemist has already done it once before. You stay behind, but you understand how you can just pull yourself back into this game. KP with fantastic stuns. And they just chain him off. They don't even care if they take it themselves while the BKB immunity is up. U9 has freedom. The punching bag can be SC, but there's so much save. It's difficult for IGV to really target prioritize at all in these fights. And it will be the Aghanim Scepter over on the Weaver.
They can potentially end the game pretty soon. If the game goes super late, like 55, 60 plus minutes, I think IGV can start to turn things in their favor.
Can they delay it though?
I don't know, but if it theoretically gets to that point, Alchemist is actually going to have slot issues because there's a couple heroes that are just not that great with the Moon Shard, and there's only 2 Ags that he can give to that actually benefit the hero's ultimate.
Everything else will only be stats on Moonshot. Yep.
Yeah, so you gotta think about going 60 plus if you're IGV. That's when you're gonna win, if you're gonna win.
So then it's defend. It's the Aghanim Scepter for Timbersaw. Double chakrams. Keep the waves out. Clean up the tree lines if that's what it has to be. Leave the chakrams up and then just cut the tree lines on the side so Newbee have less options pushing into the base.
Yeah, I think they're going to push the base right now, though, with the Aegis and with the freshly completed Ags. Alchemist, this is the strongest that you get. Everything is fairly marginal at this point. I guess Ags on Vengeful Spirit is pretty good, but it's marginal after that. And the gold lead is very favorable for the 20K.
Just shy of it. But Newbee, they're still having issues with Paparazzi cutting the creep wave in the mid, and he is, like, Aghanim Scepter is on the wish list. Yeah. SC now the best support, buying up mass obs and sentry wards for his team.
Too much gold. Keep buying those gems, tomes, everything else.
Well, he can buy the entire Assault Cuirass at the moment. He just won't have buyback if he does it. So, yeah, was a Shadow Blade coming in.
I don't actually think he needs buyback. I guess they've been playing pretty safely, though, with the first, like, the phase boost pickup, the early BKB pickups. Like, they've been playing pretty safe, so I would actually be surprised if he did not have buyback money. Let's see, he's at the secret shop right now, so full AC with buyback.
Yep.
And gem.
Just short by 400 now. He bought the gem, but hey, there's the money up on top lane, walking towards him. And that's actually over next to the Observer Ward, down Bottom lane, you can see that hunting coming in. If they can just reach him. Kaka as well as U9 having a lot of vision around here. And they, with the two observer wards IGV committed, they're both watching around the ancient/secret shop area of Newbee. So they don't really see that much of this maneuver as Newbee look to try and push the high ground. And once that Gem of True Sight's on the front lines too, I think they also understand there is no keeping vision here. They lose their last remaining outer tower. And IGV, this is the testing point. Can they defend? Can they keep Newbee away from their tier 3 tower? Right now, SC is taking a little bit of the damage. Kaka's stun's going to miss. They 4-star SC in deep. He'll trigger the BKB and just runs after Super. Gets a quick stun. They'll have to shrine up nice and quickly as well. That tier 3 tower being chipped away. Unai and SC doing the work. Fortification is the only thing that can really stop them. They glimpse him back into the storm. They can hold him there. The time lapse, it doesn't pull him out of the storm. It was a little bit too early for it. Now the Wukong, come on. Creator, same with the VS swap. It will keep SC alive. Even the bash done. Sakata can't get the easiest run here, but no one dies for now, including the tier 3 tower.
They can easily have Unite hit the tower. He still has Aegis for a minute, I would say, maybe like 55 seconds.
They just send SC back in to do it. Flamebreak can push him around. SC not a healthy man, but KP with the crush. They hold the Juggernaut there. Secondary stun, lasso. All right, that's one way to do it. Pull SC so far in. He's on top of the tower, but again, another time lapse pulls him back into the world. Safety and the Bloodthorn. Oh, that's real trouble. Paparazzi, there's no way you can survive levels of that damage. And this is mid-racks. No way to stop it. And I'm wondering now, even with the buyback from the Timbersaw, if IGV can stop this destruction of Newbee. Have to try something in July. No lasso. The kick gonna miss his target. SC still focusing on the racks. Take of team. The Lotus Orbs at the stun scope, but they found their target. They found the Bat Rider in the tree lines. Buyback is available for him, and it's all or nothing. In fact, in July, doesn't even buy back. He calls right here, right now. Shy of the 40-minute mark. Newbee will take game 1.
Easy out game. Force moving to your jungle. They read them like a book. It was very easy to sense out those smoke kinks from SCCC and the rest of the team. I think also Faith played really well. All he had to do was sit behind the Alchemist, don't stray from that too much, and that's exactly what he did. Take a lot of the smoke kinks, and Newbee make this 1-0.
Yeah, perfect execution for them. And of course,